Hi, I'm Julia. Thanks for watching Active Audiology's video on how to clean a slim tube hearing aid. So a slim tube hearing aid is one where you've got all the electrical components sitting behind your ear in this part, and then there's a very thin plastic tube with a tip that sits inside your ear. So this type of hearing aid, all the thinking happens in this part here, and there's microphones inside there, and then that sound travels down that thin tube and comes out the tip into your ear. So it's really important that this tube and the tip here are really clean, otherwise the sound's not going to come out and your hearing aid won't be working for you. So you should really clean your hearing aid after every use, but at a minimum 2 to 3 times a week would be good. Now the first thing you can do is clean this electrical part at the back, and a starting point is just to give it a wipe down with a tissue to make sure you get any dust or moisture off the surface. Then you've got this little tool that comes with the hearing aid, and it's got a brush on one end and a little wire on the other end. If you just look on the device, you'll see these little holes. There's one here and there's one on each side there, and the microphones are under those holes. So to keep them working well, you can just brush over the top of them to get them nice and clean. The next thing to keep clean is this tiny little hole at the end there. The sound is actually coming out from that hole, so even if there's a speck of wax in there, it can stop that sound from getting through. You can use the wire tip here and just try to pick out any wax from that tip. Now what you don't want to do is poke that right in and push it in further, because then it's really going to get stuck rather than being cleaned out. You can also use the tissue and just wipe around there as well, just like that, and make sure it's nice and clean. Now if you've tried that but you find that you are not hearing through the hearing aid, then it probably means the wax is a little bit further up, and so you'll have to take the next step to try and clean it. And what you can do is actually pull that rubber dome off. Just as an aside, just remember that you will have a dome size assigned to you that's been chosen because it fits well inside your ear. So it's good to have a record of that, or make sure that your audiologist does, for when you need to get replacements. So once you've taken that off, you can really see that hole well, and again you can use the pick, but what you don't want to do is to push any wax further into that tube. So you've taken that off, and then the next thing you can do is pull the whole wire off, and you do that in most cases by pulling it from the top. If that's not how your hearing aid works, your audiologist will show you the right way to pull it off, but the important thing is to remove that wire. So with the next cleaning step, you do not want to have that still attached to the hearing aid, because it's not going to be effective. With that thin tube, you'll have received some thin wires like this, and the idea of this thin wire is to use it to push any wax out that might be inside the tube. Grab the part that you've pulled off from the top of the hearing aid and insert that thin wire into the hole, and then push it all the way through from the top to the bottom, and then you actually pull it out. So by doing that, you've cleaned the whole tube in one go, which is quite nifty. And then what you can do is pick up the hearing aid again, grab it from the top there and push it back into place. There we are. So you've got that back on again. Then you can either throw away the dome and get a new one, or use the same one if it's clean, and just press it back into place. Now what you'll notice is that that wire is on a 90-degree angle to the part that's at the back. And that's the way it should be, because that's the way it's going to fit in your ear. If you've attached it and it's sitting like that, for example, there's no way that's getting inside your ear because it's completely upside down. Sounds obvious, but it's an easy thing to mix up. So just make sure you've got it on that right angle, and then it'll be ready to put back into the ear. So once you've taken all those steps, your hearing aid really should be working well again and right to go. If you find you're still not hearing, the sound's not coming through, or it's just not clear, then please come in to see us and we'll give you a hand with that. Thanks for watching.